Hello, welcome to this week's lab. Today we're going to talk about a couple of different things. We're going to talk about Windows updates, Windows security, and firewalls. In your PowerPoint presentations, we go over all those different things in pretty good detail, but today we're going to be dealing with it in our Windows client virtual machine. So as always, open up your computer, turn on your VMware Workstation Pro, and we're going to start the Win10.01 server. Go ahead and start it up and log in. And you should be to the point that we're at here. Now, this isn't a very difficult lab, not a whole lot that you're doing, but everything takes time. So even though it doesn't seem like you're going to do a lot in this lab, it does take a lot of time to get it done, so be prepared. We're going to start by going in and looking at our updates. So we're just going to click on search and type in update. I don't even have to type in the full thing. I just type UP and you can see it says check for updates. So we click on the check for updates and we can already see here that there are some updates here. So we're going to go ahead and install now. It installed that update pretty quick and easy. So now I'm going to do another check for updates. You may see this get ready for Windows 11 thing. Close out of that. We're not getting into Windows 11. We don't need to worry about that. We can see here that we have another pretty quick Windows update. Not a big deal. It's going to run through relatively quickly. And there are some other cumulative updates here that are available as well. This is actually a full Windows 10 version, so we are going to update to this as soon as we can. So we're just going to keep clicking on check for updates until it says that there's nothing left, which it has done that except for this cumulative update, which we're going to go ahead and download and install. The cumulative updates are much larger, so they will take a little while to download and install. So as soon as this is done, downloading and installing, we will restart our computer and then we can move on to the next step. Okay, now that it's done updating, we're just going to go ahead and restart now. And let that restart our system. And again, this process might take a little while. We'll see when we log back in. Okay, now that we're logged back in, let's take a look at something else here. Actually, before we do, we'll just check one more time, make sure that we are up to date. Click on check for updates. And yes, we are up to date. So we can go ahead and close that. So now let's take a look at our Windows security. And inside Windows security, we're going to click on virus and threat protection. Inside here, we can do some different things as far as scanning for viruses. We can click on scan options and you can see that there are quick scans, full scans, custom scans, Windows Defender offline scan, so on and so forth. And you can set up different allowed threats, which you don't really want to do, but you can allow certain things. We're just going to go ahead and do a full scan and click scan now. And again, this process is going to take a little while. So feel free to take your coffee break if you want to, or whatever, and let that happen. Okay, now that all of the scanning is done and it shows that there's 0 threats, we can go on to the next item, which is looking at the firewall. So we just click our back button here, click our back button again, and we can click on our firewall. Once we're inside of our firewall, we can go ahead and look at the advanced settings because those are the ones that are really going to matter by scrolling down and clicking on the area where it says advanced settings. Go ahead and click yes. And inside here, we can see that we have different inbound and outbound firewall rules. So we're going to go ahead and click on inbound, and we're going to create a new rule. So we're going to come over here to the right-hand side and click new rule. We're going to define this rule by port number. Click next. We'll leave it on TCP, and we will go ahead and specify port 80. Click next, and we want to block this connection. Click next. We want to do it on all of our different domain private and public firewalls. And we'll just name this HTTP. And click finish. And now you can see that we have a block port on HTTP. Now that we've done that, we can actually go over to, go ahead and minimize this. We can go over to our Internet Explorer. Notice I didn't click on Edge because I don't like Edge. And we're going to just go ahead and click on hbo.com. Now, notice that that still pops up. A couple things about this. First of all, it changed it from hbo.com to https.hbo.com. So we're going to get rid of the S on that and hit enter. And it still goes to HPOS. So we can't use hbo.com anymore. Used to be able to, can't do it anymore. So let's find a different website. Let's go to Torchy'sTacos.com. Again, this one goes to HTTPS. We'll get rid of the S and see if it lets us. Nope, still doesn't let us do it. So instead of trying to find a HTTP website, we're just going to go ahead and go into this. We'll delete this HTTP rule because we don't need it. And let's create a new rule, and we'll do another port. Click on new, leave it at TCP, and we'll do port 443. This is HTTP. Again, we'll block this connection, click next, do it for all the firewalls, click next, and we'll name this one HTTPS, and click finish. We can minimize that again, open up Internet Explorer again, and we will go to hbo.com again. Now, it still works. That's interesting. Why is that? Go ahead and tell us inside of your lab why that block doesn't work. And once you're done doing that, let's go ahead and make another firewall rule. This time, we're going to do it on the outbound. New rule, port, click next, 443, click next, block the connection, click next, all of the firewalls, click next, and we'll name this one HTTPS again, and click finish. Notice that now we have our HTTPS rule for both our inbound and our outbound firewall. Now, if we close out of Internet Explorer, come back in, and go to hbo.com. Still works. Is our firewall turned on? Let's take a look. Firewall was not turned on, so we're going to go ahead and click yes to turn that on. And you can see that it is now turned on. We'll do it for the private network as well. There we go. Now all three of the firewalls are turned on. So now we can go ahead and take a look at this again. We'll close Internet Explorer again. And you can see even Microsoft isn't allowing us to go, but we'll type in HBO again. And now we don't have Microsoft. So let's go ahead and just check one more time. We'll delete our outbound rule. We can minimize this. And let's try to go to hbo.com one more time. And look, it works. So if we go back to our firewall rules, we still see the inbound rule. It still exists, but the outbound rule is no longer there. And when we recreate the outbound rule, new rule, port number, 443, HTTPS, and we try to go to this website again, it blocks it. So inside your lab, go ahead and explain to us why it blocks the website when we set it up on the outbound, but not when we set it up on the inbound. You can go ahead and delete these rules now. And just to be a little bit of extra vigilant, make sure you can go to HBO and close all tabs. And that's it. Like I said, we're not doing a whole lot in this lab. It's just that everything takes a really long time to get it done. So I hope you enjoyed this look into Windows security, Windows updates, and Windows Firewall. And we will see you in the next lab. Have a great day.